I thought the movie Men in Black was about a man who forges tires out of iron because I heard the protagonist was a wheelsmith. Welcome to the stream, my friends. Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to Men in Black on the PlayStation 1. This game's actually pretty alright. I've been enjoying it so far. It was a Jankuary selection, and other than, like, standard PlayStation 1 jankiness, it's really not been too bad. The level I'm currently up to is a bit annoying because the enemies in this game can be pretty spongy. And they definitely are here, but if that's the worst problem I have, I think I'll be able to get over it. But welcome in, my friends. I hope you're doing well tonight. We have Dead Zergling first in chat. We've got Lucent Jelly. We've got Buddha Fingers. Welcome in all. I hope you're well. We've got a few lurkers as well. Welcome in, lurkers. That's not Frownie. Get the imposter. Thought it was about Johnny Cash impersonators. The Man in Black. Why you always dress like you're going to a funeral? Maybe because I am. Your antlers are fantastic. Thank you, Jelly. I am rather fond of them. So, yeah, everyone's just gonna have to put up with me tonight. Let me have a sip of, I've got green tea tonight. It's nice, but it's really, really hot. There's no difficulty selector, so we're just playing on standard. There isn't an easy or hard mode. I did have to restart the game a couple times because I encountered a bug that crashed the game on level 1, and then I had to repeat it later because of a weird quirk about how the save data includes the options that you select from the main menu, so you can't change your mind about your options mid-playthrough. So I had to restart when I decided I wanted to change my control scheme. But it wasn't really that bad. An alien engineer. I'm telling you, Kay, I haven't had. Okay, sorry, we've already seen this cutscene. We don't need to endure it again. Okay, I do need to, let's see, the portable force field generator, so I've achieved that goal before. I have not survived long enough to reach the armory, or find the Emperor. Thank you very much, Zergling, for the watch streak. 315 streams, plus the, 79 you were, or sorry, the 97 you were robbed of. That puts you at what? Like 412 unofficially. Very much appreciated. We're gonna see a what a The armory. What about the leggery? But I like it. Jelly and I were drafting jokes for tonight, and it's surprisingly difficult to come up with, like, alien-themed jokes. And when we do throw out suggestions, at this point, our alien-themed Jankuary was so long ago that, like, I'm really doubtful whether I'm reusing a punchline or not. Like, I really... What? Where's the action button? I know where it is. The enemies are real spongy, and your rate of fire is real slow. They got me. The Gregory. There is that, there is that interpretation, but I'd steer well away from that interpretation. Jokes in that area are too likely to get someone's, you know, political temperature rising. Dire Wolf, welcome in. How's the family? We're all pretty well, and we actually took Baby Man in yesterday for his 15-month checkup. Doctor says all appears to be well. We're a little divided on how his speech is coming along. Because I'm inclined to count his total number of words that he has learned to say in a very conservative manner. Like, I don't want to overestimate his abilities. And I feel like Jelly's inclination is the opposite. So there's a mild question surrounding how well his ability to speak is progressing. I don't think that it's concerning. It's just so far as like what mile marker he's at. It's hard to say. What is your favorite vocabulary that Baby Man picked up? He's a smart boy, Jelly says. Well, see, that's the thing, is I'm not 100% convinced that he really knows any words as such. He says things that sound like words, but I don't know that he's saying them with the intended meaning that those words are supposed to have. Or if he's just mimicking fun sounds. Because, like, sometimes we'll ask him a question, and he'll make a sound that sounds like he's saying yes. But the thing is, the question I asked him is too complicated that I can't trust that he would be able to understand it. Whose fault is that? Not even in particular that I'm asking not that it's a particularly complicated question either, but like just that unless I'm sure that he understands all the words in the question, then how can I be sure that he understands the meaning of the question? I'm not going to be a very good judge. I realize I'm not going to be a very good judge of this whole situation anyway, because I don't feel like I have a skill for interpreting toddler speak. Like, because I know that a lot of times, like, because of the limits of their articulation and perhaps for a variety of complex, like, cognitive reasons, that, like, very young children will invent their own words for things. And so, like, I have a difficulty divining what those are, what those mean, and to what extent they count as words. Um, oh, but thank you for asking after a dire wolf. I hope that you and yours are all well. Babies progress at their own pace. It's nobody's fault. Well, I think that was just the opportunity for some gentle ribbing there. Uh, but Baby Man seems like he knows yes and no, and Jelly thinks that he knows the sound nom 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 in regard to food. What exactly that means, whether that means this is food, or I'm hungry, or this food is palatable to me. Like, what exactly it means is fuzzy. Here's something to consider. You asked a question, he gave a response. If I asked you a question in a language you didn't understand, you probably wouldn't respond because you wouldn't know I asked a question. Would not the same be true here? Well, the thing is, like, it's not that he understands well enough to know the content of the question, but that he has learned that the tone in which a question is asked prompts a response. So You know, he doesn't really, I don't think he understands the content of what I'm saying, but I think he understands by the way I say it that it is a question, and so he should say something in response. And then whether he chooses to make a yes, a sound that's like yes or a sound that's like no is selected somewhat randomly, or maybe based on other context. I don't know. Make a bunch of noises at him in the form of... Well, see, that's the thing, is sometimes I ask him questions, and he doesn't say, make a yes or no sound, but he does indeed just look at me like I'm an alien. I don't know. You know, nothing that he does is... The thing is, like, nothing that he does is going to be perfectly consistent. Like, there's always 1,000 variables that sort of affect, like... What kind of mood is he in? What kind of distractions are going on in the room otherwise? Like... I feel like I just... I don't know. Kind of my course of action is to just roll with whatever he's doing and just you know, not really try to force anything too much. And if the doctor's not really worried, then I'm kind of a worrier in general, so I'm always going to have at least a low level of anxiety like running in the background. That program's never shut down, it's just minimized. But, you know, if the doctor's not particularly worried, then I shouldn't be, then I don't think I should be overly worried in this case. Not that I want to outsource all my thinking to the doctor, but there's something to be said for expertise that I don't personally have. Chozo Brain, welcome in. You have 6 eyes now. I suppose I do. uh, no, we will know Baby Man has reached Frownie's level of English when he gives the most non-description of a food or drink ever. There are some that say that my food and drink reviews are nondescript because of my culinary incompetence. There are others that would say my food and drink reviews are purposely nondescript because I don't want to engage in spoilers. The term most people would use for that second group is liars. I tried to strafe out of the path of the bullet. Like, there's so many times where I try and strafe out of the path of a bullet, and then something like a box or a desk is at my side, and I don't know, and then I'm just stuck. I imagine Baby Man replies to Frownie with the dialogue of Stewie Griffin, and Frownie is worried he's short on vocabulary. He definitely understands words, though. Like, he understands language, because I can tell him things like, like I can ask him where's his spoon, and he'll look around the room and find his spoon and bring it to me. Or I can ask, do you want to read a book? and he will pick up a book and join me at the couch, or just join me without one if I already have one in my hands. So, like, there are... You know, there's words and he definitely knows words and phrases for things. He just can't, he just can't or doesn't see the utility yet in articulating them for himself. Frownie reading the boy Leaves of Grass, probably. I do sometimes just read aloud from whatever I'm reading. I think that enemy clipped out of bounds. Because I didn't fire enough times. I don't think I fired upon it enough times to eliminate it, and it's just gone. It appears to have despawned itself. Which I'm definitely in favor of. This door is closed behind me. I can't back away. I need a health refill. There's not enough health on this stage. I don't know how far along we are in the game. I feel like this is probably, like, the next to last mission of the game. Like, maybe not the next to last stage, but, like, considering the, like, missions as, like, a set of... Or... maybe it's the wrong term. I don't know. This is I think this is the first level of the final world. Or the next to last world, rather. Sorry. How do I change my weapon? Let's go. I read Leaves of Grass in college. Long ago, but I don't remember too much of it in detail. I know it's this big, like, sprawling... I remember this big, like, sprawling free verse poem. Kind of gets big and metaphysical in a lot of places, and I know the general metaphysic is kind of like new agey. I'm applying that term sort of anachronistically, but That's the kind of vibe I remember from it. A lot of like, you know, like oneness of everything type language. Oh, he's got rockets. He's got rockets. I'm not even... Look, there's bullet holes floating in the air between those bars. I'm not even doing anything. It doesn't allow me to return fire. I feel robbed. This game's so good looking for PlayStation 1, Chozo says. Yeah, I have no complaints in the visuals department. I think the environments are really well done. It's got a good diversity to its level themes, too. It's like Haunted House and Junkyard. I remember fondly. You know, you got kind of a generic, vaguely, like, Geiger-esque, aboard the alien ship theme going on a couple stages. It's actually one of the weaker themes, I think. I read Eyeless in Gaza last year and only retained a vague sense of the story. It's more an opportunity for the author to ramble about philosophy than what I feel the characters would express, Buddha says. I don't know that particular book, but I know the type of book. I remember you mentioning the title. I feel like I don't retain... I wish I retained what I read of books better, because a lot of times, like, I feel like what I walk away with is frequently very thin. That I just have a very through a glass darkly kind of impression of the things I read after a short while after putting them down. I don't know. I read, over the past couple of days, I read All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy. And I enjoyed a lot about that book. I do not like McCarthy's typographical gimmicks. I find them very annoying. The way that he refuses to punctuate dialogue, and he's got these really, like, exhausting run-on sentences that I know he's using for effect, but I still am not having a good time when I'm caught in the middle of one. And the book starts off really annoying. The first, like, 10 to 15 pages are aggressively opaque. And it's just... It is antagonistic to the reader. Like, how confusing he makes the first, like, 10 or 15 pages of that book. I was in real danger of just walking away from it, but if you survive like 25 pages in, it clears up, and then it's not like that anymore. and it's really good. It's like it's a story. It's I think it's set in the 1950s. It's a young guy. His family ranch closes down, so he and a buddy cross the border into Mexico for a life of adventure and to seek their fortunes and whatnot. And there's romance and there's trouble with the law, and it's all like it has a lot of there's a lot of mythic quality to it. I like the way the characters talk to each other though. Um, the dialogue's real good, and a lot of the story, especially throughout like the early and middle sections, is really gripping. It kind of unwinds, it kind of flattens out and unwinds at the end in a way that's not entirely satisfying. And it gets really weird, too. Just like the characters' decisions. Kind of stretch the... Some of the characters' decisions toward the end start to stretch the limits of credulity. You can feel the author reaching down into the world and moving people around a little bit to start to get things where he wants them to be toward the end. Alice in Gaza is by Aldous Huxley. I retain quite a bit from other books. I think this one didn't have a whole lot that drew me in. I usually commit once I crack it open. The only book I really grew weary of was Superintelligence by Nick Bostrom. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to finish the things that I start, and so I'm trying to be careful about what I start because of that. I'm mostly aiming to read. I'm mostly aiming to read kind of shorter novels because that'll make it easier to see the things I pick up all the way through. I don't necessarily think that it's like strictly a positive thing to like commit to reading everything you start, right? Because not every book is necessarily worth your time. But I mean, you've seen the way I approach games obsessively. Like, that's... I'm gonna approach books in the same way, to where, like, it's gonna be really hard for me to not finish what I start. Even though I don't necessarily agree, I don't necessarily think that's always the best course of action. I found an exploit in Pokemon Red Achievements. It's a well-known one. If you press every button on the Game Boy, it resets the game, but not the achievements for one session. Those Safari Zone Pokemon are toast. Resets the game, but not the achievement for one session. I don't necessarily know that I follow exactly how you're using this exploit. I don't know if it's my lack of understanding of Pokemon or my lack of understanding of RA. I'm about I'm almost halfway into another novel. It's called Spider by McGrath, I think is the author. The cover says it's a horror story, but it's not been particularly horrific for the first half of the book. There's a few like bits of foreshadowy language, but mostly it's a story about a sad and confused and broken narrator. Is really all it is so far. Which, I mean, those things are naturally horrific in their own way, but not in the sense of like a tale of suspense. It's an interesting story so far, but less amusing than the other stuff I've been reading. It's not really the right word, but I'm struggling to think of what the exact term would be. I'm tired of these doors closing behind me. Imagine AI 100 years from now. People are going to just create their own movies, and people will probably have to license actors with their AI. It's gonna get weird. What? I'm personally hoping for a scorched earth after AI fails dramatically and no one dares speak of it again, Zergling says. What is going on? The instruction box kept popping up, and I kept interpreting it to be the mission objective completed box. There's really no health on this stage anywhere. I actually broke something in the environment. That's pretty rare. I mean, just look at how many times I have to shoot this guy. It's impossible. I don't have enough resources. I don't have enough resources to clear the stage. You can't carry stuff over from level to level, so it's not my fault for, like, getting here without, like, stuff to use. Oh. Excuse me one moment. Frownie has abandoned us. I'd like to say never, but, you know, probably not. AI now is like internet from the 90s. It's only a baby. Yeah, I'm definitely not educated or intelligent enough to know what to make of it. Why'd the music get scary? Oh my goodness, health exists. I actually found a health pack. Never used a paid AI. They're a lot better. Just use ChatGPT to search stuff for me, though it makes errors sometimes. Yeah, I've dabbled with it I've dabbled with it a bit. Just kind of talk to it and see what's up. Asked it to search things up for me, and yeah, definitely noticed that it has a tendency to be very incorrect. Sometimes stubbornly incorrect. Yeah. When it argues back because it doesn't understand something. Or when it's misquoted something, you can't you can't correct it when it's misquote. Or I don't have the capacity to correct it when it misquotes something. Because it just digs its heels in. It does it like I have the book in my lap. I know it's wrong, but it cannot be it cannot be educated. Maybe someday there'll be a golden age of AI. I get the feeling we're just going to live through the nightmare transitory phase. No, I suppose we might. I mean, I have a tendency to be more pessimistic about things than optimistic. I don't really think it's a good or correct outlook. Like, I'm saying of myself that I consider that a flaw, but if I'm being honestly self-reflective, it's the case. And change is bad. That's my stance typically. I definitely can't sympathize with that. Me, a guy playing a PlayStation 1 on an ancient game on an ancient television. Has no idea where those kind of instincts come from. Still remember your Dark Souls 2 CRT run. Demon Souls. Demon Souls is gonna be CRT as well. I kind of wish that Dark Souls 1 had been, but... I suspect that the PlayStation 4 and 5 did not have composite video out. I suspect... I won't be able to play Dark Souls 3 or later on the CRT. Imagine Frownie shoveling out a spot for his penny farthing before his morning cycle to the workplace. I wish I had a penny farthing. You can still buy them, but they're nightmarishly expensive. Also, I don't know that I'd be able to get one appropriate for, like... I don't know that I would be able to get one that, where I meet the weight limit. I think that they're typically designed for slighter individuals than I. Dark Souls 1 on the PlayStation 3/360 is almost unplayable at points. Yeah, you can share, Chozo. You can. Thank you for asking first. Yeah, I don't mind if you give something away about that. You can tell me why that is. Well, I know where that enemy is. I just don't know. I don't know what the game wants from me right now. Where am I supposed to go? I take the elevator again? Was this even an elevator? That's not even an elevator. It's an elevator in the movie, I think. I haven't seen the movie in a while. That'd be your weight loss goal, Frownie. Be allowed on the warning label of a penny farthing. I'm almost 60 pounds down. I don't really know what my ultimate goal is. I'd like to... I feel like I'd like to become light enough and strong enough to do, not that I expect to become light. Not that anyone ever described me as that, just lighter than I am now. But, I'd like to become light enough and strong enough to do some amateur bouldering, I think. Or, like, climb a rock climbing wall. That's like my loose sort of goal. My weight loss and strength training. There was another door over here the whole time. Oh, yeah, that's cool. If you're to charge the rocket launcher, you have to hold the trigger. And then if you use the action button, it fires the rocket. You can't perform an action while you're... Oh, that's the stage. Well, GG.
So you made it to the armory. No matter. And you managed to dispose of my guards. But you have yet to capture me.
Blighttown runs at 2 to 17 FPS, and the lava in Lost Izalith is blinding in the dark. Two FPS Blighttown. Let's go.
Well done, Agent K. You have managed to arm yourself. But as you can see, I'm no longer in Zed's office. Why would I wait around for your arrival? No, I prefer to move on. If you want to see your friends again, head towards the training grounds. I have set up a few surprises for you. A few of my mech friends are dying to meet you. I doubt you'll score 100% this time.
Training ground revisited. Have we been on the training ground before? Rescue the MIB agents. Alright, please don't give us a level as frustrating as the previous one. The last level was not so fun. This is gonna be more fun. Okay, got the map. Very colorful kind of stage we got here. Health pickup. There's a health pickup right at the start. I don't need it yet, and then I get hit, and now I kind of need it. Oh, that's a shield. I thought that was just health. I'm too close to the enemy. I'm firing through him. Also, my shield is gone. Okay, are you rescued? Does that count as rescuing you? Do I have to follow you the whole way out? Oh my goodness. Is this guy out of ammo too? Fine by me. Better let me go back through here. I'm gonna refill my other weapon. I gotta partially refill my other weapon. Okay. Are you good? I feel like I aimed that very poorly. Oh no, I'm trapped. I feel like the door is gonna come down on my head and damage me. Ah, there you are. Oh, I can't walk down into the training room. I got another shield. I got some ammo. I wonder if I'll waste this shield as rapidly as I did the last one. We're okay. That guy didn't care at all that his buddy was in a firefight, dying. There's a lot of guys in there. Okay, apparently if I hang out back here, though, they won't be too much of a problem. Hey, cows, welcome in. Great to see you. I didn't think you were going to be here tonight. Hope you are well. You know, maybe media has misled me, but I seem to always have an image of huge, muscle-bound strongmen lifting dumbbells and riding penny farthings. Are you sure you're too heavy? Oh, let's go. That all wrapped up very nicely.
You're stronger than I thought. No matter. I'm not defeated yet.
Generally, when I think of penny farthings, picture like Victorian England upper class. I guess that the historic penny farthings probably were made out of like pretty rugged materials, though. I can safely say I've never pictured a penny farthing, Cow says. Oh, we were talking earlier about um, I don't remember exactly why I was accused of writing one. Just because I'm a Luddite in general, I guess. But the thing was that the accusation actually rang true because I mean I don't own one, but it's something that I frequently thought I would like to have. Just because I'm rather taken with the style of them.
This time, Agent K, I'll make no mistakes. The compound has been set to self-destruct. It can be deactivated using 3 security keys, but only I know where they are hidden. Once the building is destroyed, I shall take to the streets with my minions and cause untold havoc, unless you can stop us. But I doubt that you can. I still have your comrades. They're beginning to look a little glum. I hope you try to rescue them soon. I really do.
I think that this character has like lost a thread of who he's supposed to be and has defaulted to Batman the animated series Joker for his personality. Find the security keys, deactivate the self-destruct, Rescue your remaining colleagues. The HQ Hullabaloo. What a title. A nice rhyme, Cow says. I don't know if you have any particular mechanism, Buddha, for picking out what books you read or what book you read next, but my current mechanism is just to look at my shelf and pick up the novels that have thinner spines. So I don't. I haven't so far haven't been putting a whole lot more thought into it than that. I mean, aiming for stuff I haven't read generally. And as to why the things that are on my shelf are like how they got to be there in the first place, it's like, well, they've been sitting collecting dust for so long, I can hardly remember what it was that made me pick them up. Made me buy a copy. Oh, that's the time limit running down up there at the top. Well, I'm in big trouble. I'm being fired upon from somewhere. Ah, there you are. Have I found any keys yet? I don't think I found a single key yet. That door's still locked? Oh, these are the keys. Alright, I see a key. I found the first key. I like this weapon. It vaporizes them. I don't exactly have a process. Sometimes the subject of a particular book is timely based on work or what's going on in my life. Sometimes I feel put on the spot to just pick up anything after finishing the current title. Most of what I read is nonfiction. That will eventually lead me to feeling like I need a break, and then I dip into the lighter fare of fiction or entertaining biography. How things end up in the queue is a mix of recommendations. Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite. I'm leaning very heavily toward fiction, and will pick up nonfiction as That's the more occasional. It's the more occasional one. But generally right now, it's like just because I'm trying to get back into the habit of reading more regularly after not for a long time for various reasons. I'm I'm just picking up stuff that looks unintimidating for the most part. Like I'm just looking for novels that are like generally around like 200 or 300 pages, or maybe between 2 and 4, and just grabbing them largely at random. I like I tend to like books that are published by the publisher Vintage. Um, just because I like the materials they make their books from. Like I like the way that their books physically feel, and I like the font that they use. Um, I find I find editions published by them to be very attractive. They generally do like soft cover books that I think have a really good feel to them. So I'm prone to picking those up just because I like the feel of the book in my hand. Frownie likes something vintage? Shocking. Yeah. Uh, if Frownie saw green eggs and ham too, he'd be all over that. Yeah. Greener eggs and ham. Oh yeah, yeah. When books reference other books, and then you have to add those to the pile. Yep. I used to have a bad habit of trying to exhaust a particular author, but after Orson Scott Card, I have had to revise that policy. I could feel the draw of that. Uh, there, D Queen Bee. Welcome in, Queen Bee. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us. The Red Queen Bee. I read like their like I read it their D. The Red Queen Bee. I I'm always blundering people's names. Tommy, welcome in. Mitch Albom's books have a tactile feel to them. I I know what you're talking about. I haven't read any of his books, but I handled them a lot when I worked in a bookstore once upon a time. I've learned the hard way that the majority of authors famous for one book wrote many but have only one good book. I have that like speaks again to like my like obsessive like collector type personality, and that yeah, if I read one book by someone, then I'll be tempted to be like, oh well, I should complete the set. And yeah, that's an easy way to waste a lot of time. Yeah, I actually think I should prioritize using this weapon. I think this is the thing that's going to make my life easiest. And I'm out of ammo for it. It's nice while it lasted. There's not even any reason to come up here. Why did I do that? Used to do that. Read some vampire series that was chasing the Twilight craze, and 16 books down the line, I had to tell myself no. Oh my goodness. 16. It's quite a lot of vampire books. That's a lot for like a. I'm trying to think like what the most I've read in a series is. Well, I guess 10. I was gonna say 7 because there are 7 Harry Potter books. Well, I guess I did read an 8th, unfortunately. um, if you count the Belgariad and the Malorian as one series, because they're sequel to one another, then I guess 10 would be the most I've read in a series. Because those are 5 books each. Though they're kind of one of those things where, like, each series is 5 books, but they're one story. They're like, you can't really read, like, you couldn't pick up a middle one and read it in isolation and get a full story out of it. Like, kind of like the Lord of the Rings, right? They're 3 books, but they're really 1 book. There are 3 keys? 3 keys? What are we even going this way for? I know there isn't a key in this direction. Uh-oh. Alright, one of these guys has got to have a key. None of these guys has a key? Where on earth are the keys? My voice cracked. I don't know what to do. I'm at a loss. Most recently finished a business book by Jim Collins, who wrote about the rise and fall of companies, mostly known for Good to Great. I've heard of that book. He referenced a book about the fall of Circuit City called Good to Great to Gone, which is certainly titled in his honor. That book's waiting in the wings now. Hey, Duck Something, welcome in. Ask Will Smith for help. I had to look up at the longest series I read was 22 books long, Cows says. Which I suppose is quite a lot of medieval rodents. Is that Redwall? Is that the series you're talking about? It is. I have the first book of that. I haven't read it yet, but I have it. I have the first book of that on my shelf. I've not read many vampire books since then. Uh, I have a I have a lot of first installment of like long running like fantasy series. I have a lot of just the first book of a lot of those like series on my shelf because it's like, well, I don't want to invest in the whole collection, but I'll buy one, and if I like it, then I'll move forward. And so I have a lot of those where I bought the one, but then haven't ever gotten around to reading it yet. So like I've got like the first book of like the Wheel of Time and the Sword of Shannara and the whatever Terry Goodkind's series is. I don't remember. Wizard's First Rule is the book, but I don't know what the series is called. Hey, Ozzy, good to see you. Welcome in. There's a Men in Black game for the PlayStation 1 that's awesome. I miss weird licensed games like this. Now we just get Fortnite skins. Oh. Yeah, and this game's pretty alright, too. It's not perfect, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. A couple of the levels are a little annoying, and enemies are too spongy, but definitely played a lot of games with a lot worse problems. Oh, who's firing at me now? Where'd you come from? You didn't exist a moment ago. Wait a moment. Is this passkey? Does this go to this locked door up here? No. Pick up the key. I did pick up the key. Alright. Yeah, I knew that. I should have just kept on ignoring that message, because I already knew it. Hey, I found the second key. My health is dreadful. I found a secret. Well, I'm not going to survive this. You can't just tell people they didn't exist a moment ago. I can and I will. Can and I will. The burden of proof lies with the one who didn't exist a moment ago. I'm under no obligation to blindly accept their boasts of continuity, temporal continuity. The game yells at me, pick up the key, as if that guy dropped a key. Ah, there's so many of them. He must have retreated. Okay, was there any more ammo out here? No. He got a key. Okay, let's go. I've got all 3 keys. Please don't spawn a ton of enemies again in my path. It spawned a ton of enemies in my path. Go to the locker room? Oh, I'm not gonna make it. Well, that's a shame. I remember loving the Wally PS2 game as a kid. I don't have any experience of Wally yet. Game, movie, or otherwise. What? Where did you come from? You're lucky my gun doesn't work. One of Pixar's best. Oh, I didn't know there was an ammo here. Oh, that changes a lot. Oh, that's very good. What are you doing? Where'd you come from? It says to get to the locker room. I don't know what room is the locker room. Is it just the room behind the locked door? That would be convenient for me. That would be rather punny. And hence a logic that I can't very well argue with. If you want to convince Agent Frownie of the veracity of some fact, just present the data in the form of a bad pun, and you're already well on your way. I was really hoping that that shot was going to eliminate 2 of those guys at once. But alas. I really wish that rocket hadn't hit me. I think that's what everyone says after being hit by a rocket, if they say anything at all. I'm gonna ignore that guy for now. Destroy the force field generator. Ah. I'm not even sure if this is working. Uh-oh, my health. Okay, I don't think he's gonna follow me. That's where I spawned in. I don't know if other enemies exist up here yet or not. Sure wish there was a refill for my other weapons. I think I left a health in here. I did not leave a health in here. Oh, yeah, I did. Let's go. Okay, I don't remember how to get back to where I was now. Is that in here? Yeah. Then across this way. Sometimes it looks like he's taking damage. Usually it's just me taking damage. Well, I'm glad I went in there. I don't think the stage was going to end until I...
J, X, help our hero to the infirmary.
Simply routine. Anyone would have done the same.
K's out of action for a while, and I smell trouble.
Okay, that wasn't the last mission. Thank you for the trophies.
Thank you, K. You've averted a great disaster. Your bravery will not go unrewarded.
Yeah, I don't think that that stage was going to end until I went in there. But I was very hesitant to do that. As you saw, for several minutes.
Wrecked. 30 years of work smashed to pieces.
Poor Zed. He's taking it all pretty hard.
I know. And I thought he was such a tough old bird, too.
Well, at least the threat is over.
Spoke too soon, sister.
This mission is the most important you'll ever face. The president is trapped. Aliens are slowly infiltrating the building, getting closer and closer to our country's glorious leader. She must be protected. Track her down. Crawl through the ventilation shafts. The other problem is just as serious. There are 4 bombs in the building. They need finding and defusing. This mission will be your proving ground, Junior. Succeed, you'll be bathed in glory. Fail, and the planet may not recover. Good luck.
Are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president? Find and disarm the bombs. Locate the president. Alright. Thought so. Oh no, not these. Oh no. Well, I found an A-bomb. I mean, does I have to find 4 in this amount of time? There's no way. This game's a joke. I didn't know I had one of these. I gotta check my weapon supply more frequently. I do often have more and better weapons than I think I do. Okay. So if I find and defuse a bomb, what's this suitcase doing here? Then I get a reset on my timer. Oh my goodness, it's so bogus. Just count, I dare you. Just sit there and count how many shots it takes to eliminate just one enemy in this game. You'll run out of numbers. There aren't that many. Hey VHS, welcome in. Thank you for the 10 stream streak. Very much appreciated. Who needs upgraded weapons? That's just modern technology. Oh, modern technology, the worst. Get it out of here. You're right. My auto-aim is picking rather inconvenient targets. There's not even a bomb in this room. This room's just for bonus. I have regrets. Okay, somehow I'm still alive for the moment. Wow, these enemies really zip up the stairs. What happened to me? The grenade blew us all up. Oh. Rough level. Again, a level that's mostly rough just because the enemies are so spongy. It's the thing I'm going to walk away remembering most about this game, was just how it took 11 hours to eliminate every single enemy. Every enemy encounter, every individual enemy encounter is the longest playthrough on my channel. I feel like something made those enemies spawn early. What am I doing? At least the bombs diffuse quickly. Whoops, down this way. This room seems like a bad idea. This is the same, it's the same room. Oh my goodness. I'm wasting so much time. What's over here? Ooh, a shield! Alright, that's a nice find. Okay, got it. One bomb left. Where do I go? Go to that door? No? Can I go back through here? Okay, back through here. Why is their phone ringing? Oh yeah, I never picked up that weapon this time around. Oh no. See. No. I was very close to not dying. There's no way to dodge the enemy's attacks in that room, it doesn't seem. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do there. Awesome. Those enemies just demolished my health. I understand on a theoretical level that the game wants me to use these grenades, but the game just doesn't understand how impractical that is. That telephone ringing really stresses me out. Or not a telephone, like a... Well, yeah, telephone. There's a clock noise, too. It's two stressful noises for the price of one. Oh, there's a ammo refill here. I didn't know that. That's nice. Actually helps quite a bit. Let's go.
Stage 1 complete, Agent J. Well done. Now make sure the President comes to no harm.
Escort mission.
thermal sensors show that there are a massive number of aliens on the move, and they're all heading your way. Stand your ground, and make sure the President is unharmed. Once the President is out of danger, make sure you round up any alien stragglers. We don't want any of this leaking out to the nation's press.
Alright, well, this might... I might be stuck on this level for a while. The last mission where I had to protect someone was kind of a struggle. Rip. Yeah, this is pretty much exactly like that other mission, too. Oh my goodness, look at all this. Alright, well that was wave 1. I can't even see. Oh, this is gonna be ugly. I might be here a few nights. I think that I think that friendly fire is also an issue. My biggest problem right now is they have one useful weapon, and that is not the weapon that the game wants to give me refills on. The game only wants to refill a useless weapon. This is the only weapon that I can get refills for, and it's incredibly terrible. This is the only useful weapon, and it won't let me refill it. I don't like this. Oh my goodness. It's over. Whew, that was rough.
Nicely handled, Junior. The President got through it relatively unscathed.
What was your least favorite book last year? What did I read last year? I didn't read a whole lot. So, what was it? Jekyll and Hyde, Turn of the Screw, The Four Loves, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Hobbit. I don't know. I think I liked everything from last year. The Turn of the Screw is probably the worst because it was the least comprehensible. Henry James's prose is a real challenge. That's not to say I disliked it, because I enjoyed reading through it, but there are a lot of passages where it's really hard to figure out like what point he's trying to get to. They're just winding sentences with antiquated and high dollar vocabulary. The year before last, probably House of Leaves. That would have to be my least favorite. I think that book starts super strong, but it just gets worse and worse as it goes. And I mean, there's strong sections throughout, but it's kind of spoilery if I talk too much. There's parts where like the mechanics of what the author is doing are very obvious. Like there are parts where what the author is doing with like a particular character, like they're trying to make you think certain things about particular characters because of what he wants to do with that character later, and it's obvious what he's wanting to make you feel and why and what he has planned, that like why that's intentional. So like that's not particularly great, although I say that I didn't like the mechanic I didn't like the feeling the mechanics of how the book was being put together, but I liked the writing in that part anyway. So, um, sorry that's so obtuse, my explanation, but that book just that book just where just that book just fizzles as it goes. It's such a fascinating premise, and it's so very interesting at the beginning as the mystery's building, but nothing satisfying for me ever comes of any of the mystery that's built up. High dollar vocabulary irks me when it's overwrought. Well, that's the thing. I don't know if it would have felt so high dollar in James's time either, though. I don't know if it's I don't know that he's an author reaching for a higher grade of vocabulary, or if it's just an artifact of the time and the time and culture in which he lived. Because all Victorian writing kind of seems like that to me, right? That it's very overly ornamented. Uh, you can clearly see his hand reaching inside the puppet, or just overly telegraphed because mentioning it has no. It's just it's like one of those things on like it's like one of those things where like you're watching a television show and you can tell that the writers are trying real hard to make you like a character because they're about to write them out of the show. There's mechanical stuff like that in the book. I could feel that kind of thing going on. That wasn't super annoying to me. That was just mildly annoying that I could kind of I could see the gears like behind the wall was mildly annoying to me there, but not overly because again, like I like that section. I like that section of the book to which I'm referring. It's it's one of the it's one of the most interesting parts, but have you ever read a Dan Brown book? I have not. Let me reset the audio. I've seen movies based on Dan Brown books, but I haven't actually read any of his books.
This is it, Agent J. Our sensors report that both Alpha and the Godfather are in the building.
What?
They can only be after one thing, the President. Make sure she comes to no harm. Clear the building of all aliens. When you face the Godfather, make sure you're still strong when you bring him down. Alpha will be a much trickier customer, but he needs to be handled in the same way. Oh, and Junior, be careful out there. Alpha is an extremely dangerous criminal. Even if he looks like he's defeated, he's sure to have another trick up his tentacle sleeve.
A BBF, ahoy! Welcome, man. I hope you're doing well. It's been maybe 20 years since I read one. I remember that he had hooked me very well. About three-fourths of the book was a complete page turner. Somehow it all fizzled out in the end, and after reading two books, I had not the inclination to read another. I know by reputation that his books have a very like a page turning sort of quality, that they are written with fast pace and like effectively, like chapters are effectively cliffhangered to keep you diving into the next one from what I've heard. But I haven't sat down and read through any of them. Some of that reads similar to what you describe, certain orchestrations before he puts a character away from the story. Yeah. I don't like I'm interested. I'm very interested in the craft of storytelling. And not that like I have a mind that can see through the veil, or anything, but I do try to, on some level, like try to be aware of what the author is doing and whether or not I like it. Um, like the book I'm reading right now is a Spider. It's written in the first person perspective, but for huge chunks of it, the narrator is describing things that happened during his childhood, but he's describing events to which he wasn't present and giving us like thoughts and feelings of like the characters as they go through those events, and like that's knowledge that he doesn't have. And like the thing is, like I know McGrath is like he's making these choices. So it's like, the thing is, like, that's something that a novice writer does by mistake, is they write in the first person, but then they tell you everything that's happening in other characters' heads, which the narrative voice doesn't have any way of knowing. And I know McGrath isn't a novice writer, and so he's choosing to do this on purpose, and so it's like, well, this communicates to us that all of these narrative sections are unreliable because the author can't know this. He's imagining what must have happened and what the people must have been thinking without knowing it, and then presenting it as fact. And so, but like, just because I can understand that's why he's doing that doesn't really mean that I like to read a story that's written like that. Like, when it comes to fiction, I generally like a very tight, limited third person perspective, where the focal point of the story is from one character's point of view. Not, I don't usually like first person narration so much. I prefer it to be third, but I like to be really locked tight into our focal character's point of view. And I kind of like, when we're close enough that, like, the descriptive prose will take on flavors of the character's thought, especially when, like, emotions run high or for poetic effect, without ever really breaking into stream of consciousness. Like, stream of consciousness type writing I typically don't like, but I like prose that takes a little bit of color from the character's point of view. But if we're going to be reaching into the minds of other characters, it has to be grounded in our viewpoint characters' assumptions, right? Where our viewpoint character says that someone else seems to be thinking this, or they observe body language that betrays their emotions, without just objectively reading the minds of other characters. So I don't remember where I was going with that. So while I can understand why the book I'm reading now, like, I get from a certain point of view why he's doing what he's doing. It's not really the type of viewpoint that I like to read. It's also fun when following a character's point of view closely enough that other people, that other plot happens that they aren't privy to are a surprise to you. Yeah. That other happenings in the plot, yeah, that's useful. That's useful, because you can use the limits when you can use the limits of the viewpoint character for surprise. So I guess maybe I'd have to think about this a little bit further. I was going to say, I guess I don't like a lot of dramatic irony in my storytelling. um, I don't necessarily think I want to know too much more than our viewpoint character knows. Stop the Godfather. I see, it's been a couple nights since we played this, but I'm pretty sure that we electrocuted the Godfather to death in a previous mission. So I'm very surprised that he's still around. Who was Alpha? I remember the name. Oh, it's this guy who charged. Of course, he's got big bull. I was gonna say he charges like a bull, but there's no need to say that. He's got big bull horns. Of course he does. And a question mark objective. All right. So this might be the final stage. You ever read biographies or autobiographies? Pretty rarely. I listened on audiobook. A long time ago to a biography. I think it was Charles Cross was the writer. It was a biography of Jimi Hendrix, and I found that book to be real fascinating. I'm not really much into like Hendrix's music. I like the loud, like aggressive, heavy feedback and distortion kind of stuff. Doesn't do a ton for me, but his story was fascinating. I think if he had I think if he had lived longer, I would have liked his later work a lot though, because it sounds like he was kind of trapped by his genre, at least the way that Cross tells it, and that he was really interested in exploring more like blues and acoustic sound, but didn't live long enough to record anything in that realm. The game like basically flat out told me to save my ammo, so oh my goodness. I have a gigantic biography of George Washington on my shelf I'd like to read sometime, but it's like I don't know, it looks like it's like 2,000 pages long. It's such a massive endeavor. I don't know when I'm gonna I don't know when I'm gonna build up the courage and stamina to go through it. Ooh. Two things I read last year I was really taken with were a biography of John Boyd, the fighter pilot, and Failure is Not an Option by Gene Kranz. I was astonished how young the NASA engineers were and just how much they're wrestling with unknowns. I don't think I can probably walk through this fire. I can. It does hurt me, though. Oh, it gave me health. Ah. Oh. trying to think of any other biographies or autobiographies that I've read, but I don't. Nothing's really coming to mind. Oh, a fire extinguisher. That's a nice find. Probably should have picked that up. I don't think I knew I was looking for a key. I was jaw dropped to learn that inside Mission Control, the oldest person in the room was often in their 30s. They ran on a steady diet of coffee and cigarettes. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed. I wouldn't have guessed that so many of them were so young. Coffee and cigarettes. I mean, I just assume. I just assume a steady diet of coffee, cigarettes, and liquor for, like, everyone, like, before 1980. It's like you can always tell, like, you just need to see one frame of a film. You just need to see one frame of any film to tell if it was actually made in the 70s or if it's a modern movie set in the 70s, because if it's actually from the 70s, everyone will have a cigarette in their hand. I know the space missions are older than that, but I'm thinking about, like, Columbo. Where am I supposed to go? I know it's a thing, but I still find it hard to imagine people smoking on commercial airlines. It's just ubiquitous. Even though I've seen the ashtrays of the armrests with my own eyes, I just can't see it in my mind. I don't know, I think like when I was a kid, I think every adult I knew smoked. Hey Greg, welcome in. And just like anywhere at any time. If I lean back too far, my eyeballs are going to fall off my head. Not the eyeballs. They're very fashionable and on theme, eh? Thank you, cows. I came across these in the thrift shop, and I was like, oh, I have to have them. Baby Man was quite amused by them as well. Baby Man's first alien encounter. Oh. I actually avoided stepping directly into those bullets. That's pretty rare for me. Rare enough, I have to point it out. Okay, let me go see if I can find some more ammo, because there's too many enemies in there. Instead of ammo, I found more opportunity to waste ammo. I still don't have a map of this stage. I don't think I'm ever going to. Okay, that wasn't the type of refill I was looking for, but it's better than nothing. Why did the controller shake? What happened? That fire in the wall damaged me? I hate this game. Oh, everything looks the same and there's no map anywhere. It very much objectively does not everything look the same, but I need an excuse for doing so poorly. Ah, this is what I was looking for. Let's go. There's supposed to be I'm supposed to have another weapon by now. I remember finding it last time and I was like, oh, that's... I was like, oh, that's exciting, and then I picked it up and I was like, oh no, it's disappointing. Yeah, I'm really enjoying these floor lamps in rooms with literally no other furniture. I could use a health refill. Mm-hmm. That's a cool room. Find key. Oh no, I didn't find the key? I remember finding a key before. Was that on this stage? there's a key. That was not the key that I found before. Well, I'm not happy about that. Come on now. I opened the door and the guy just happened to be firing, so I took immediate damage. That's frustrating. There was nothing I could do about that. Okay, don't want to go in there yet. Can't go to the right. Ah! That guy sneaked right up and stole half my health. Has anyone else noticed this game is annoying? I don't know why I'm being so down on it suddenly. Well, I do. Because I feel mistreated. This level is still, so far, much better than a couple of the other ones we've done. First of all, I don't trust the fire extinguisher to actually extinguish the fire before I take damage from it. I mean, look at this. And second of all, I fully expect that while I'm putzing about with the fire extinguisher, an enemy is going to sneak up on me, and I'm going to need a real weapon and not have it. Hey, we got a raid. Welcome in, Every John. Thank you for the raid. Hope you are well tonight and have had a good stream. I'm currently complaining about Men in Black on PlayStation 1. More than I'm playing it, I'm just complaining about it. I'm gonna take a risk and not pick that health up just yet. Ah, here we go. That was the weapon I found before, where I was like, "Oh, weapon," and then I was like, "Oh, it's not very good." I need to use this far away ammo refill before wasting the nearer one. Insult of backtracking. Ah, looks like hanging out in VR chat was on the menu. So hopefully that was a good time. Alright, my friends, you know the drill. I think that's it. I think it's finally empty. Is this health still in here? Oh, thank goodness. Couldn't remember if I picked it up yet or not. What? Which is the right way to go? Here? Here. There's one more enemy in this room. Uh-oh, he sees me? Not yet he does. Oh, there he is. That was a little messy. I think there was only one enemy in that room. Ooh, another health. That's a 50. I don't know what the other one was. I think the other one's 100. I didn't go over here last time. That's also a 50? Okay, cool. I can back away to this room too if I need to. When I need to. Okay, where? Here? Nope, that's also a 50. Oh, I didn't refill my ammo. Oh, that's it. That's all my ammo. Okay, there's 2 healths available to me. Got both of those guys. Is this the best weapon for this guy? I don't know what the best weapon for this guy is. This weapon seems strong, so... Oh, I got hit. Did I get hit again? Bogus. What? Where's the door? He hit me around that corner, I don't believe it. Got him. Let's go. I still have another super tough guy to fight, though, apparently. Thank you for the palms, cows. Loading? Thought the game crashed for a moment. Oh, it was a big guy. He's a big guy. Oh, I never picked up that weapon. Oh, it took away my other weapons. What? Oh, I know what I'm... Hang on, I know what I'm doing wrong. Loading is never a good sign. I don't know if any of these are even landing. I fully expect not. Did I get him? Oh, we got him. Let's go. I'm scared to walk out there. Yeah, you hear that music? Ah, what is this? What in the world? My thoughts exactly. What is going on? I blow up whatever that thing is yet? Are they growing back? That's it? That's all the ammo I get, huh? Oh, I see. There's another thing over here. Aha! My health is disastrously low. Oh no, there's another one. This sure takes a while. Oh. This is a Nintendo game. Why is there a giant floating face for a boss?
Great! It's the cavalry!
Has Alpha been dealt with? Affirmative.
And Madam President?
Ma'am?
So who are you people?
Lobby Cleaners, Division 6.
I wasn't born yesterday, Junior.
Junior?
It's a long story, ma'am. But we are the good guys.
There's an international press conference in 30 minutes. The public will demand answers. Tell me everything.
Ladies, gentlemen, and distinguished members of the press, the President of the United States.
Any questions? Paula Conliffe, BPM News. The city is awash with sightings of little green men and moon people. Would you care to shed some light on this mystery? Certainly. For the past 30 years, the U.S. government has been working with and funding an agency dedicated to the tracking, study, and containment of extraterrestrial life on planet Earth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Men in Black.
What people are seeing, ladies and gentlemen, are hallucinations brought on by an otherwise harmless gas leak in the Bronx. Any damage caused by these hallucinations is due to atmospheric turbulence. If you would all look this way, please. There are no aliens. The program you've been watching is When Slugs Attack. A particularly shocking episode, I believe.
Have a nice day.
The gas leak located in the Bronx caused the largest outbreak of mass hallucination in American history. A spokesman for the gas company released the following statement.
We're sorry.
So that's that cleared up. The gas was leaking and people were freaking. This is Paula Conliffe, BPM News.
The situation is contained. Thankfully.
Agent J, we made you a cake. It's full of coffee cream. If you don't want a slice, we'll deal with it for you. What are friends for?
As if we have time for that.
I don't know if that's just a cliffhanger or if I missed a true ending situation. Oh, these shots fired. And almost all of them were at that final face, one by one, through that door. If only exactly, if only statements released by corporations at fault were actually like that, I'd believe them a lot more. I was thinking the same thing. This game is kind of intense. This game is alright. There's a couple levels that are annoying because they're a little bit unfairly difficult. But even those, you know, since I made them through, I can't be that, the only thing growing is my discontent. I missed that comment before. Can't be too bent out of shape. No credit roll, that's weird. Alright, my friends, well, I think that's the game. If anyone knows if there's a secret final level, you could spoil that for me, because I don't know if I'm going to find it otherwise. But I kind of think that was everything. I like this game. I thought this was really good. This is one of the better licensed games. For sure. There was a question mark right there at the end I tried to pick up and it didn't let me because I hit the loading zone instead. I don't know what effect that might have had on things. But otherwise, I think that's probably going to be our... Well, we need to spin the wheel, I suppose. We did beat a game. So we can do that. The Wheel of Scorchin. Each number on this wheel represents a little bottle of hot sauce. I will spin the wheel and generously sample whatever it chooses for me. Some of them are very mild, hardly a hot sauce at all, and a couple of them are rather brutal. I'll do a quick run through of Alien 3, continuing the extraterrestrial theme. I'm not going to say I'm never going to play Alien 3 again, but I have not a whole lot of incentive to revisit it when I've still got other things I haven't played or beaten on my to-do list. Alright, let's pick a number. Number 4. All of the hot sauces are little bottles like this that have numbers on the top. Number 4 is Poppin' Habanero. Delivery method is a plain wheat cracker, a Triscuit, and I just fill it as generously as I can, preferably without spilling it, and enjoy. Or attempt to. So, since we're done with this game now, we will start a new game tomorrow night. I'm thinking Taz Express on the Nintendo 64. Or I do still have a lot of Mary-Kate and Ashley games, too. I might want to knock one of those out first, since an N64 game is likely to be longer. Ooh. That's a little spicy. It's not the hottest one in there, but it's got more of a kick to it than the jalapeno ones I've been rolling, I feel like, lately. Whew. That's not bad. I don't like it as much as like the garlic habanero, because it is just kind of vinegar and pepper flavored without really anything else going on. But it's pretty alright. I love habanero, so much more flavor than jalapeno in my opinion. I like habanero's kind of fruity quality it has to it. I seem to remember the last Taz game is not so great, but it's hard to quantify when we reach such low lows sometimes. Oh, the last Taz game that I played was Munching Madness on the Game Boy Color, and it was horrifically terrible. It was like 5 nights of misery. That game was awful. When I think of jalapenos, I think of dive bar nachos. Maybe it's not a fair representation. No, I like habaneros way better than jalapenos. They've got a lot more heat and they've got a much better flavor. I think jalapenos can be like kind of grassy sometimes. Hey, Shadowplay, it's good to see you, but If you're just getting here, I got kind of bad news. We're actually wrapping the stream up right now. I just finished Men in Black, and I don't really have enough time left to start anything else. I thought if I finished early enough, I'd do a run of Punch-Out, but I need an hour for that, and I don't have an hour. Well, this might be interesting for our raid. Been lurking for a couple minutes, saw the end, right on. Somehow I don't picture Frownie as a dive bar kind of guy. When I lived in Korea, I hung out in some shady bars, but it's not really my scene for the most part. Well, when I think of jalapenos and nachos, I tend to think of sports bars, which are really not my scene because they're usually crowded and loud and no bar of any type is really my scene anymore. When in Rome. If only Punch-Out had a password so you didn't have to go through all those boxes every time. Oh, wait. Thanks for the great stream. Thank you for being here, cows. Yeah. The dingy gastropub where the jalapenos probably come out of a jar. Alright, well, I'm going to send this over to Pokemons. I don't think I've ever seen Pokemon streaming before, but if you've been in our chat, you probably recognize that name. And they're doing, I think it's Elder Scrolls Oblivion. So, why don't we go see what this is going to be like. So, tomorrow night, I'm hoping to stream tomorrow night, regular time. We might do Taz, we might do Mary-Kate and Ashley. It'll be one of those two, depending on what I feel like in the moment. Probably no stream on Thursday. Normally I'd like to, but I think I'm going to be busy Thursday night. Maybe one on Friday. Could go either way. I'd prefer to do one, but Fridays are a little tougher for me too. But barring some calamity, should be here tomorrow. Be well until I get to see you again. Either way, my friends, we're all done for tonight. It's time to head out. Let's go on an adventure.